that. I wonder what they were talking about. Hey, welcome to Dumb Investing.
Just like that.
I'm Dumb Lloyd.
I'm just regular Harry.
And it's about to get dumb up in here. Okay, what we normally do for those of you new, welcome to the Dumbest Investing Show and all of the YouTubes. What we normally did with our daily show is we would roll some random dice, pick some random stocks, do a little bit of homework, and go buy one of those suckers the next day. With the market in the doldrums as it is and the redness of our portfolio.
Having little hissy fits.
Yeah, we haven't been selling anything to rebuy because we didn't want to lose money. So we're kind of holding steady. We're waiting for something else to happen. So while we do that, we will still go and review our portfolio. And you're also learning a lot about the other things that Lloyd and Harry have going on the side. So tonight we're going to get an update on my search for a rental. So with that, Mr. Harry, take it away with the portfolio.
Well, what happened today? The Nasdaq just absolutely crashed today. Well, everything was just absolutely crashed today. So
bloodbath.
Hopefully our portfolio did not go to zero.
Well, the Dow for part of the day hit like a peak, like a record, and then it pulled back, 30 or something like that. But the Nasdaq was a total sell-off. What Bloomberg says is everybody's getting out of tech because they're the ones that are going to get hit the hardest with inflation or something because our ROI is too long. I don't know. Smart guys were talking
whatever.
And saying everybody's buying Chevron. Okay.
Is that just because gas and oil can't go across the country anymore?
I don't know. If it was me, I'd be buying Warren Buffett's freaking tank truck stock if that was me. But you know, I'm just some idiot on YouTube. Oh, look at the red. Beautiful.
Yeah, our portfolio happened to follow the rest of the market. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I don't think there were too many people surviving getting green days today. But if you did, good on you. We certainly did not. So our two
the Lloyd personal account was positive $2 today. Ooh, thank you, AT&T.
Yeah, the Harry account was not. So usually we see Socket Mobile and BurgerFi at separate ends of the spectrum, but they've consolidated now. They
both got together for a red party.
They are both going in the same direction. So Socket Mobile down 4.5%, and so was BurgerFi. So a little bit of a pain, lots of pain there.
Lots of pain.
And then for our winners, our bull, industrial bull, continued to increase today. That's good to see, even though it was just a little bit. But it still went up, and Lazy Boy went up today.
Oh, good deal. It's good to see them moving again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with all of that red that we saw on the other screen, it brings a lot of red to our portfolio. So we were down another 1.5% today, which I can tell you beats beats my own personal one by a landslide. So well done on the safety profile here.
And that probably beats the heck out of the Nasdaq too. So are you stressed at all seeing some red here?
No.
I'm not either. I'm bummed that we don't get to do our daily show like we used to because that was a lot of fun. Now, maybe we'll roll into some money that we can invest in here again. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I can no longer make deposits in here for fun money because Picker Household is going down the old rental route.
Woohoo!
And it's something that we have had rentals almost all of our life. And we haven't had one now for about 3 years. And so we had been saving and planning and deciding when to do it. And talking to my finance guy, he was indicating interest pressure. Mm-hmm. And talking to my realtor. And Harry, you've been great. You have talked about how important it is to have a good team. And I have built this awesome team. You know, since I moved down here to the South, I've got the same mortgage guy I've used for 7 mortgages now. My kids use them. A couple people from work, some of my colleagues. He's a great guy. And so I can call him up or send him an email and just say, hey, man, here's what I'm thinking. I've been saving up. What are your thoughts? And he'll shoot me back at like 2 a.m. He's like, dude, now's the time. Let's do this. You're pre-qualified. I'll send you a letter tomorrow. I mean, he is an awesome, awesome dude. My realtor is really good too. And so, talking to her, I believe that she has a pretty good say on things. And she was kind of like, look, I think now is a good time. She goes, I'm trying to get another rental myself, and I have a bunch of clients that are doing it. She thinks it's a good time to hit the rental market. So
right.
We decided, it's time to tighten the purse strings and let's do it. So here's the process. Here's what I did. And I talked about this a little bit last week, and I'm going to go in depth a little bit more. So we ran through the budget first with my guy, and I just said, hey, what am I pre-qualified for? Here's what I'm thinking. And I just kind of threw a dart against the wall. And we're doing full transparency, right? So we're talking numbers.
Your comment.
All right. I told him 300 grand. So that's what I've got. I think that's what I've got budgeted. And so he came back to me and he said, hey, I can get you 3% with 20 down on a investment property. I was like, okay, cool. So, he kind of ran the paper on that. So I know what my payments are and stuff like that. So then I started, I let my realtor know, said, hey, I'm going to start looking. I'll start giving you some zip codes. And so, because, I live in this huge metroplex, there's just way too much stuff. So you have to start narrowing the focus. And one of my beliefs is, and I know this is probably detrimental to my pocketbook, but in all my life, I've never bought a rental that I wouldn't want to live in. It's just how I believe, So I will drive home a different way from work every day. And I'll drive through neighborhoods and, I'll drive through a neighborhood and say, hey, man, this is a nice neighborhood. Or, I don't want to buy a house in here. So the nice ones, I go and I research them. So I'll write down some addresses. I'll get home and late at night after like the wife has gone to bed and I'm up killing time. I'll look at crime stats. I'll look at average income, average household size. I'll do some research like that. And if I find a neighborhood, I'm like, hey, this is like when I drive through, if there's a million cars in the streets and stuff like that, right. I'm kind of like, I don't know. But if it's, fairly clean neighborhood, yards are taken care of, there's no rundown houses, I'm kind of like, okay, cool, this is great. Now, sometimes I'll drive through a neighborhood and I'll be completely dumbfounded when I search them later and I realize that their homeowners fees are $1,000 a year and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, that's no wonder they were so nice. It's just like, good Lord, that's crazy talk. So I start developing kind of like my hit list of what neighborhoods I want to look in. And then I tell my realtor and I say, hey, I saw this is a nice neighborhood, this is a nice neighborhood, this is a nice neighborhood. And so she starts doing like a geofencing based off of zip codes. And somehow a realtor has access to the MLS before it like goes public or something like that. So like she gets like a 1-day picture of things before they hit the MLS and you can search them on like realtor.com or things like that.
Yeah.
So I get those and they come in and they ping my phone and it's like, hey, here, you got a 6-hour lead on it. And so if I find a house based off of that I think I'm going to like, then I'm going to send her a note and say, hey, let's go look at this thing, because she has basically told me, she says, Todd, if you are not ready to pull the trigger within 12 hours, it's gone. And you'll see people even put it in their descriptions, best offer by Friday at midnight. And it's kind of like, okay, the house just went up Friday morning. So I've got till Friday midnight to make an offer. So it's crazy. That's the kind of world, for these affordable houses that they're going fast, because man, housing is just going crazy bonkers here for pricing. So we are in the market, actively searching. My loan guy is awesome. I got a pre-qualification letter that said I can buy a $300,000 house. So my realtor has that, and she says that is almost as good as cash, because a lot of people show up to buy a house and they have contingencies. Right. It's either they have to get their financing done, they have to sell the house they're in, all this other stuff. And we show up with no contingencies and we're like, hey, we can close as fast as you need us to close because I already got my loan ready. My W-2s, all that stuff my guy already has. He gave me a list. I need these things. So Saturday night I sat here, got all my electronic copies of everything that he needs, sent them off to him, and he was like, cool, you're good. We can close in 10 days. So been driving through neighborhoods, looking at houses. Wife and I, kind of took a tour, and man, we found some awesome houses that hit my lady's list, and we went and drove the neighborhoods, and man, some of them were just such an awesome house in such a horrible, kind of pre-gentrification neighborhood. This developer guy tore down 3 houses and built 3 really nice houses. Oh. But the house next to it is, was built in 1946, hasn't had paint since then. The roof has multiple tarps on it. I mean, it's just, I feel sorry for those people, because I know that house built next to them is going to raise their taxes, and just, I mean, it's hard to live. It's really tough. So, something like that, it's like, man, I don't want to do that. But like a new neighborhood, where it used to be a ranch and they just moved the cows another 10 miles out, I can handle something like that.
Well, for us today, I guess this weekend, so our bank was working this weekend, so that was good. So we ended up getting the final official green light from the bank saying that everything's in place, you're good to go. Not that we really had a choice anyways, because we already removed the conditions from our inspection on Friday. So if the bank chose not to finance us for whatever reason over the weekend, we would have had to figure out a better way to, a way to get financing for the property. But they already told us that we would have been good to go. We were just bickering a little bit about interest rates. So up here in Canada, the common rates are based on, kind of 5-year fixed loan terms. So they don't do 30-year in like they do in the US. You can get some extended. I think, you can get 10-year. I think you can get 25-year if you want, but you're paying up like 8% or more.
Oh,
for that.
So for those of you in America, to compare what Harry is having to go through, if you were to search and do like a 15-year FHA loan, that's kind of the ballpark area that he's having to deal with.
Right. So we do in Canada, typical is 5 years. So you do a 5-year mortgage, and then basically you renew your mortgage every 5 years. Essentially, you work off the same principle, but you just basically are renegotiating your interest rate that you're going to pay over the next 5 years or the next term. You don't have to do it over 5. It could be 1, could be 2, could be 10, whatever. But standard is kind of 5, and that's usually where you get your interest rate or best interest rate. So ours in Canada are, 5 years, I think they posted at about 2.44%. So it's pretty good rate. And then if you've got a good bank or mortgage broker, you can typically negotiate off of those rates. So we got a little bit of a break off their posted rates, but so we're locked in, ready to go. And now we need to find a lawyer. So since my last transaction of buying a house, we had a lawyer, but they have since retired. So it's now on the hunt for a new lawyer. So I think all of the documents went over from the bank and the realtor today to the lawyer's office that we're going to use, except I haven't told the lawyer's office yet that we're going to use them yet. So
that's awesome.
A little busy today, but so that's kind of where we're at. So we need a lawyer to do the closing documents.
So in America, we have title companies, and we go into a title company and they accept the liability for all the closing documents.
I see.
So the only time we really have to get lawyers involved is if there is some sort of secondary contracts where, somebody needs access on the property or, things like that. They will draw up those types of documents. But in America, generally we go through a title company and we don't have to have they'll charge us, I don't know, $1,500 or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
To close all your documents.
Yeah, closing costs are fairly expensive.
If I happen to go black, we are having severe thunderstorms. I don't know if you guys can see the lightning flashing every now and then and the thunder. No. But yeah, if we go black, it's because I lost power.
What? You don't have a Tesla Powerwall there?
No Powerwall, no generator.
What about an end-phase wall?
I got nothing. I'd love an end-phase wall, actually. I'd love to have end-phase panels on, but that'll be after we get the rental, start saving again, and maybe consider something like that.
You never know. But yeah, that's generally it for our update here. I think once we get the lawyer stuff done, we're good to go, and then we get keys June 1st. So won't have too much to update after that, but before that, I should say.
So I need to respond to one of our viewers who sent in some questions on Friday. One of the questions was, can I please see pictures of the pool? I promise you guys, anytime there's a change, you will get updated pictures. So the most recent pictures is go back in the last couple of episodes last week. That is what we got, man. We're on month 5 of our build, and unfortunately we're having awesome storms, and we're on the phase where they need to do plastering. I assume it needs to be dry for that. So we're not supposed to have dry until the weekend.
At least they'll fill up your pool.
Dude, it is full. It is probably an 1/8 full right now with just water you don't want.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
So I have a funny story. You want to hear a funny story about the pool?
Yeah.
We got time for a story time?
Yes.
It's about a bit. Okay. So they've been building the
short story.
Well, I will do my best. I'm not good at short stories, so I will do my best.
You are quite the storyteller.
So the weeds in the backyard were out of control. They were higher than knee high in a lot of places. And there's a lot of rocks and stones and stuff that have been kind of just sent everywhere in the backyard. So I didn't want to take the mower back there, right? So I was like, hey, I'm a cool guy. I've got this rocking electric little, weed eater. So I'm going to go back there and knock down all the weeds with the weed eater. And maybe I can pull some of the rocks out and I'll mow later, right? So I go out there and I start weeding. And then basically what I do is I kind of walk to the middle and I just start, doing my little weed eating. And as I was doing that, my ankle started burning a little bit. And I thought, well, maybe when I was over here, I winged it, with a rock or something. And I was like, okay, I'll deal with it later. Let me get this done first. So I keep weed eating, and then the rest of my leg starts burning. And I'm like, what?
Oh,
I'm
no.
I'm wearing sweats, right? Because I didn't want to get a lot of, zings. So I pull up my pant leg, and I've got just fire ants. I've got probably 10 fire ants on my leg. And the way those, you guys don't have to worry about them, but here's what they do. They're evil little bad letter words, right?
They are Satan's little creation, aren't they?
They will crawl on you, and you'll hardly even know they're there. And they don't bite or sting until enough of them get there, and then they kind of send a message, and all of them kind of just start at once. So here I am getting my butt just stung, worrying that they're coming up. So I've got my sweats pulled all the way up, and I'm trying to beat them off, and my neighbor is just laughing at me because it looks like my leg's on fire. And I ended up finishing weeding, and it came in, and then the wife got home, and she looks at my leg, and it just looks like, she's like, what the heck? And I'm like, where do we keep that stupid stick? I need to put my anti-burn medicine on, so she took care of me. But you should see my leg, dude. It's just peppered. It looks hilarious. Man.
That's crazy.
I hate those things. I just hate them.
No kidding. You guys got all kinds of crazy, deadly animals down there.
We do. When I first moved here, I lived about 10 miles from where I am now, and we had these little, translucent scorpions. They were the weirdest things ever. You could hardly tell when they were. But one of my buddies came over, and he was like, oh, you want to see something crazy? I'll come over tonight. And I've got this, he was a cop. He had this UV light, I guess for blood and stuff. But he goes out in the backyard, and he's shining this UV light. They were everywhere, man. It was there's one that they all glow in the dark, right? He's like, bang, bang. I'm like, wow, what the heck? And it was just, we lived, our property butted up to a forest. And they would come out of the forest to feed in our yard and stuff. And he said they just kind of come in the houses. It's just what they do, Shake your shoes is what they would tell you. Don't put your foot in, you shake your shoe and stuff. Yeah, those were some BASTARDs.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. So for tomorrow, I've been doing a little bit of research on NFTs, and I know you want to talk NFTs.
I can't wait. Yeah. I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to shut up, and I'll listen to everything you have to say. I will enjoy the lesson.
We're going to talk some NFTs tomorrow. So I will come prepared with all of my notes, dumb notes. And we'll talk some NFTs. And
I appreciate you doing homework on that.
Yeah. Did you? How did you feel about the Doge Father on SNL this weekend?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I was all psyched up. I was hoping he was going to say something awesome. And then, oh, yeah, it's a racket. And that thing just dropped. I mean, it dropped like 25% during the show. Yeah, it was just like, now it bounced back a little bit. I haven't seen how it did.
So today I got an alert. I think it was from Bloomberg, but I got an alert this morning, and it said that Binance had stopped or has halted the selling of Dogecoin. So, from what I understand, is that the Doge is having a hard time finding buyers. So, one thing that we haven't talked about stocks is that for every buyer, there needs to be a seller. So,
and vice versa.
So what could possibly happen with Doge, if there's nobody buying Doge, that means that it's not easy to sell, which means you've heard us talk about liquidity before and being stocks that are liquid. Well, if nobody's buying Doge, no, you can't sell Doge because there's nobody to buy it. So that's what it means to not be liquid, is when nobody's buying it. So that it's kind of starting a bit of a bleed off here of on pricing for Doge. So it just keeps stepping down and down and down. So pretty interesting. We'll see how it levels out. It's Doge is the people's currency, as they say.
But, well, the people's currency is down from a high of like 70 something to 44 cents right now.
Yeah.
Which is up from 0.0001 in the last 12 months. So yeah.
Like, that's so crazy that you can create wealth out of essentially nothing, right? Is basically created wealth. Well, I guess they didn't really create it out of nothing. Somebody had to pay for it. So that's where they basically took it from everybody else.
Well, somebody, spent the time to develop it and do all that stuff and figure out how it's going to work. I mean, there was a lot of work that was done in the background to make it a product. That's basically what it is, right?
Yeah.
And you can still go to a Mavericks basketball game and buy some popcorn with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But there's new cryptos, currencies that come on every day. It's just wild. So one of these days it's all going to settle out and there'll be front runners. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the front runners for now, but you never know. It could change.
Could change.
So definitely don't take crypto buying advice from that guy or this guy.
No. Although I'm up on my Doge still, so. I'm an idiot. I'm the world's biggest dummy. Do not listen to me. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, and since it's for entertainment purposes, don't forget to click the links down below and get your free stocks with Webull. So follow our link, sign up with Webull, deposit $100, get up to 2 free stocks worth $1,800 in the US. In Canada, you get nothing. You can't even use it. Nada. Locked up. No. Trudeau wants all your money wrapped up in Canada, so make sure no Webulls.
For you Canadians, you got to figure out how to do that VPN anywhere. Get a US VPN address, and then you guys can play with your Webulls. Ha Oh my gosh. The wind just knocked over my flower pot, dude.
Oh.
That's got to be some wind.
No doubt.
It's pretty. I should show you guys. It is nasty out there. Holy cow.
Show us.
Oh, I can't. Cords are too short. Doggone it. I don't know if you can see. So see that flower pot that's moving right now?
No, it looks like you have a bear in your backyard. That's
the front yard. And it blew it, and that thing was rocking so much it hit the house.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't figure out what that noise was. Yeah. So yeah, we're having some fun down here today. My phone hasn't gone off with the tornado alert yet. So
yeah, our time's coming. We get those crazy storms ripping through here too.
Now you guys don't get tornadoes though, do you?
You just get
awesome straight line. Really?
Yeah, on occasion, not anything too serious. They don't happen that often, but on occasion, we usually get a few tornado warnings every year, but not
You
usually.
guys don't have to test your tornado alarms at 1 p.m. every Wednesday?
No.
That's what we do.
Trudeau send us alerts on our phone.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Oh. All right. Well, this was fun. We'll try to do as many updates as we can and keep you guys up to date on all the cool things that's happening on in the dumb universe.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff happening.
For sure.
All right. Well,
have a great night.
Have a great night, and we will talk to everyone tomorrow.
Don't trade like that guy.
Or that guy. Good night.
Or that guy. Good night.